What the world has witnessed in the past 72 hours is nothing less than a revolution of common sense. Our country will soon be stronger, wealthier, and more united than ever before.
President Donald Trump brought his America First policies to the world stage on Thursday. In a remote address to the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, the president talked about his very early accomplishments and policy priorities. The annual gathering is full of leaders of business and government. It's in front of them Trump touted major investment promises by Japan's SoftBank, OpenAI, and a new deal with Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia will be investing at least $600 billion in America, but I'll be asking the Crown Prince, who's a fantastic guy, to round it out to around $1 trillion.
The White House said Trump's call with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was his first with a foreign leader. It said the two talked about the kingdom's international economic ambitions and how they can increase the mutual prosperity, according to reports. Trump said his early actions are meant to reduce the burden Americans feel from high prices.
On day one, I signed an executive order directing every member of my cabinet to marshal all powers at their disposal to defeat inflation and reduce the cost of daily life. If the price came down, the Russia-Ukraine war would end immediately. Right now, the price is high enough that war will continue.
A barrel of Brent crude traded around $76 on Thursday, down from more than $100 a barrel in the first months of Russia's invasion. Gasoline prices are down 3.4% over the last 12 months, and the overall energy index is down 0.5%. That's according to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Inflation as a whole rose 2.9% in 2024. Consumer inflation is starting to heat up again, though it's far from the recent peak of 9%. The main tool the Federal Reserve used to bring down inflation was hike its benchmark interest rate. After significant progress, the Fed cut its rate 3 times last year, but probability markets are forecasting just one cut in 2025.
I'll demand that interest rates drop immediately, and likewise, they should be dropping all over the world. Interest rates should follow us.
Pressure to lower interest rates is not a new move. During Trump's first stint in the White House, he often pressured Fed Chair Jerome Powell to lower the benchmark interest rate. The higher the rate, the more expensive borrowing is for everyone. Meanwhile, the president hit on the deregulation efforts and the impact it will have on Americans.
My administration has also begun the largest deregulation campaign in history, far exceeding even the record-setting efforts of my last term.
And on the world stage, President Trump touched on his favorite word for increasing revenue, tariffs.
But if you don't make your product in America, which is your prerogative, then very simply you will have to pay a tariff, differing amounts, but a tariff which will direct hundreds of billions of dollars and even trillions of dollars into our treasury to strengthen our economy and pay down debt. Under the Trump administration, there will be no better place on earth to create jobs, build factories, or grow a company than right here in the good old USA.
Well, even before his appearance, Trump was a major topic of conversation in Davos. The head of the World Trade Organization warned of the impacts of a global trade war.
If we have tit-for-tat retaliation, whether it's 25%, tariff 60%, and we go to where we were in the 1930s, we're going to see double-digit global GDP losses. Double-digit. That's catastrophic. Everyone will pay. Everyone. And the poor countries will pay even more.
That said, now that Trump has taken office, she says she is cautiously optimistic about his intentions.
Everybody thought that by today or tomorrow we would get, an executive order with 60% tariffs or 30% and so on. So far, we've seen the request for a slew of studies and investigations of the various trading partners and various types of trade agreements to see the impact on the United States. That's a bit encouraging.
On that note, Trump has recently taken aim at the European Union.
From the standpoint of America, the EU treats us very, very unfairly, very badly. They have a large tax that we know about and a VAT tax, and it's a very substantial one. They don't take essentially don't take our farm products, and they don't take our cars, yet they send cars to us by the millions.
Earlier this week, he issued a tariff threat to the bloc, but the European Commission president welcomed working with the U.S.
Our first priority will be to engage early discuss common interests, and be ready to negotiate. We will be pragmatic, but we will always stand by our principles.
Off the table at Trump's Davos speech was talk of the Panama Canal, something he referred to in his inaugural address.
China is operating the Panama Canal, and we didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
Now, Panamanian President Jose Raul Mulino did address the comments in Davos, although he downplayed it. He said Panama is not distracted by Trump's pronouncements, but perhaps there's an opportunity there to work on issues that interest both parties. For more on the Saudi Arabia investment we mentioned at the top of this video, search Saudi Arabia for this story at san.com or on the Straight Arrow News app.